not about politics, it's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. You're just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
I just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the It's Just Football Desk. I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner. Joining you all on a Monday morning where there is plenty to talk about. Hell of a week, Mike. Very spread out, the football. Of course, you got the Thanksgiving Day games. You had rivalry week in college football. You had the Sunday slate, which was a lot of fun as well. But how was your Thanksgiving, pal? Haven't seen you since then.
I think since the first week, since like week one, when everything kicks off, this is the best weekend of football that you get on the calendar because you start Thursday.
It's fair.
You get college Friday and Saturday, pretty spread out, so you get your eyes on pretty much any game that matters. And then you get a full Sunday slate too. And obviously Monday night, which isn't really a game this Monday night, but still, best football weekend on the calendar.
Like you said, Monday night, maybe not the best between the Steelers and the Colts coming up tonight, but we got plenty of other football to talk about before we get to it. A lot of big-time action that we saw on Sunday specifically, and of course, if you guys are joining us on a Monday and you've been here before, you know the drill. We're going to go through a lot of different games. We're going to give you our superlatives, what game we want to talk about most, what games matter most for the playoffs, the draft, and of course the games that didn't make sense. Plus, give you a lot of shout-outs to some player performances, some teams that really stuck out to us that maybe we didn't have an exact superlative for, but we're going to cover as many games as we possibly can here on this show. Shout out to the Birmingham, who was the chat champ. Last time we heard from you guys, which was on Tuesday, Birmingham got to be our chat champ throughout the entire week of Thanksgiving. I need to hear what the Birmingham's Thanksgiving Day was like. I need to hear the plate.
I'm guessing it ham.
It would be a solid bet to say that it was ham.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first plate, Mike? What was the first plate on Thanksgiving?
My first plate?
Just the first plate.
I believe it was turkey.
Okay.
Stuffing.
All right.
I had a glass of wine.
You said you were basically your draft.
Yeah, and
your draft.
I had one more thing on my plate.
You put wine on your plate?
No,
That's a wild move.
It was plate adjacent. What else did I even have? Those are the highlights.
You eat piece of
for
shit
sure.
for breakfast?
I had I had noodles as well.
Noodles.
Yeah,
Hold on.
It was great. Great plate.
Wait. Like spaghetti?
They were just
noodles?
like I don't even know what to call them. Like
Chinese
noodles?
food, like lo mein?
No, like just like American noodles. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't know what that is. Is that spaghetti? Quinn, is that spaghetti? What are we going with here? What's the ruling
like
here?
Flat
what
noodles,
are American
flat
noodles?
Like rotini noodles or what?
I'm looking up
salad.
what I'm looking for right now.
Googling
I mean,
American noodles right
Egg
now.
noodles? Are they egg noodles? That's what they look like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
all
Egg noodles
right.
are good.
Yeah, they're solid.
Interesting. Quinn, I have a question of the day for you.
Yeah, hit it.
When's the last day that you can eat leftovers from Thanksgiving? If Thanksgiving's on a Thursday, when's the last day that it is socially, legally acceptable to still be eating leftovers?
I mean, I'm out at my house.
Okay, I mean, you should be out. You should be out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you should probably be throwing it out pretty damn soon.
It depends. It depends. Is it desserts or
No. Desserts.
Okay, yeah.
Desserts are a different category, but what I'm basically asking is, do you still have leftovers available to eat on Sunday, or are those pitched?
I might still have some cranberry sauce.
Oh, you're
You
an
didn't eat
animal.
it all?
You're an animal for eating that anyways.
I think you can get till Sunday. I think if you're still eating Sunday, that's no big deal. If you're going into maybe today, it's like you might have to sniff it a few times before you make sure that it's good.
Come
but
on,
I'd still eat
man.
it.
That's what I'm saying. We're approaching the deadline rapidly. Like, if you're not done by dinner tonight,
You probably
it
should.
might be questionable.
Oh, look,
Walt still has his leg of lamb, he says.
Does he? Wow. Okay. Well,
You get the week of the football season. You know, once the season of that, once that week of the season's done, it's
okay.
done. Yeah, I think that's the rule.
No.
So after Monday Night Football, you pitch them.
I think I'm saying you can't be eating those on Sunday. I'm not stretching it. Philip says Thursday. You know why Philip says Thursday? Because leftovers is just another word for saying that you're a quitter.
Yeah.
And we're not quitters here on this show. We're not.
Or you ate a normal sized turkey.
No, quitting. It's quitting. I agree with Philip, 100%. All right, Quinn, what is your actual question of the day to get us kicked off here on the show?
Yeah, so obviously Josh Jacobs' monster day yesterday.
Huge.
He became the 7th active NFL player to record more than 250 yards from scrimmage in a single game. Name the 6 other active players who have recorded 250 or more yards from scrimmage in a single game.
Okay.
Keyword active here, right? Like Steve Largent has done it, but He's been
Active.
retired for a long time.
All right. 6 others. I would think Derrick Henry, right? He's had the most 200-yard games just rushing. He doesn't get a lot of receiving yards, but I bet he may have even done it just rushing or been around there. I know Julio Jones had over 250 receiving in one game. So he would make that just based off of that.
What about Tyreek?
Has Tyreek gone over 250?
I feel like Tyreek's a good guess, though.
With also like some end rounds and whatnot. Maybe
Right.
Debo could have gone. Did he have any big
250's
games
a lot.
as a rusher?
There's 6
slash
other
receiver last
players
year?
who have done this?
I would bet Christian McCaffrey, right? Just because, I mean, he averages.
Yeah.
One year he had 1,000 receiving yards also. So I'd bet Christian McCaffrey.
I'm cool. Julio's one. Cool. McCaffrey is another. I think Tyreek's got to have one in there.
Okay.
I mean, the Bucs game alone, the first half of the Bucs
Yeah.
game, didn't he basically have 200 yards in the first half of the Bucs game?
Yeah. I don't know if he went over 250.
I don't know if he
but
did
that
either. 250 is
rushes-
a lot. I'm
it is a
surprised
lot.
it's 6.
I know. That surprised me too. Like, it's to the point where if you haven't had 250 or more yards in a single game, like, should you even be on an NFL roster, you know? Like, are you even good?
Is Kamara one of these?
Yeah, I was thinking of other like receiving backs. Kamara, I could see.
Man, this is a good question. Justin Jefferson hasn't gone over 250, has he?
I don't think so.
I don't think Stephon Diggs has either.
250's a ton. I mean, I guess
250's a lot.
It's memorable.
250's a lot of yards. Henry, Tyreek.
I could see Zeke having over 250 in a game.
No way.
Not recently. But
CMC, Julio. That's 4. I think we've got a solid 4. I just don't know if Debo had it, man. It's a lot, though. Damn. Okay. All right. I guess we'll keep thinking about this throughout the show. We'll keep thinking about it. You guys can keep firing off answers. You can think about it. We'll get our final answers as we get to the end of the show here. Let's refresh the timeline to start the show here, because not only were there plenty of games and scores and results and stats that we want to talk about throughout the show, there were some crazy things that happened on social media.
yeah. What a week.
Starting with the Odell stuff. What in the world happened?
Oh, dude.
If you guys missed this, apparently Odell got thrown off a plane. Odell says he was just sleeping, okay? Odell's attorney writes that he was just sleeping, had something over his head. They tried to wake him up because he didn't have his seatbelt on. He didn't wake up, I guess, and then unjustifiably so threw him off the plane. But then there's some passengers that are like, yeah, man, you were like going in and out of consciousness. Mike, I don't even know what's going on here.
No one just gets thrown off a plane for being asleep. There was some more. There's definitely a part of the story that we are not getting yet. That I hope we do get from. I hope we get a flight attendant on national TV literally explaining their side of the story, sitting down with someone on like 60 Minutes, explaining their side of the story. That is what we need, because this stuff follows Odell. Odell can say all he wants, oh, I did nothing wrong. But this stuff, there's a reason it only happens to you, these things. These weird-ass things that continue to happen to Odell Beckham. It's because he himself is a weird-ass guy. He just is. You got to call like I see it, and Odell just can't help himself.
Very strange. I don't really know what to make of this situation, because there's two, it feels like completely different stories, even from the people that were there witnessing what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised there was only one video that came out with it.
I know.
Surprised.
Because I wonder.
Odell's on the plane getting yelled at. You're not going to pull out your phone and record something? Like, I don't think I would do that, but I'm also in the media, so I'm kind of conditioned to not do that. I think other people are very much like, ooh, Odell's getting yelled at. Let me pull out the phone.
Yeah.
All right, you said you pull out the phone?
I would pull out the phone.
Mike's trying to go viral. I don't know what's going on here. Need to figure it out. I thought the biggest drama that we were going to have with Odell Beckham was where he was going to sign. But apparently, it's where he
I got another question
may
of
or
the
may
day
not
for
be
you
sleeping.
guys.
Yes, what is it?
If you wind up on a no-fly list, are you allowed to travel with a team?
That's a good question.
That's a serious question.
I don't know. I don't know how those things work.
Oh.
Not that he will.
I think those are usually
that's a
airline dependent.
That's a public thing, yeah, right?
But he wasn't like arrested though either. So I think it'll probably be like there's not going to be
interesting
actual.
If you're on a no-fly list, can you still fly like private? Yeah, come on, right? What are they going to do?
I don't know though. Yeah, I guess they.
What are they going to do? Who have two fighter jets come up next to the plane. They jump out. Like, I don't know. We're getting off. We're getting off.
That would definitely make refresh.
That would definitely make refresh the
F-16s.
That was live from the news cam. Odell is in this plane. All right. Anyways, we got to move on. Something that's a little bit closer to actual football. Kyler Murray had an interesting post-game comment from this past weekend, talking about a certain interception that he threw on 4th and 1. Do we have the video for it? Do we have the video to play?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't for Hop, actually. Schematically, I mean, we were kind of fucked.
You know what? I like it. Now, I want to be very clear here. Kyler did not say schematically the whole Arizona Cardinals are. Yeah. He did not say that. He could have, and people might agree with him, but he didn't say that. So I just want to make that very clear. He was talking about the specific interception play, the 4th and 1. It looked like it was supposed to be a quick pass to the tight end. They were getting some blocking going on there, but the Los Angeles Chargers read it incredibly well, so he ends up just like throwing it up to DeAndre Hopkins there on that play.
Yeah, and but you don't say that also with the crassness of which he said that I will not repeat because I am not a potty mouth myself.
You've said it on
I've
this
said
show
it a lot, I know.
Many times before.
But Kyler Murray, you don't say that unless you yourself are a little frustrated. You know, unless there is something.
I'd agree with that.
You say, they had a great play call. We live to see another down. You don't say, with his exact wording, that again I will not repeat because I'm not a potty mouth. That unless you yourself have a little bit of heart, you're hampering a little bit of angst or animosity towards the person who dialed up that play that was quote unquote effed.
Thank you for censoring yourself. We all very much appreciate it. Last one that we have before we dig into the games. A specific Ravens fan, or we think a Ravens fan. Somebody told me they might not actually be a Ravens fan, but the Ravens lost.
False flag for Ravens fans.
I think it might be a false Ravens fan here from TikTok, but they had a hilarious Ravens reaction video, which we have here. This is after, of course, the Ravens lost.
He does have a zillion jerseys there, so. I will say stay woke. That guy probably makes one of these for every bad beat.
The sound of it. It's molded, dude. Yeah. It's an old.
I really wish we didn't play that, actually.
It is so gross.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that.
The hollow sound of him trying to beat the pumpkin is what kills me every single time. Yeah. He also smashed his keyboard, I think.
There's more.
Yeah, it might be staged. I think it might be staged.
I'm going to go ahead
but
and
it was hilarious. I laughed either way. Hopefully you guys laughed as well. I think Lamar actually responded to that and said same.
Yeah.
Lamar also
had
another tweet, which he deleted pretty quickly. But,
did he? It was up for a while. It was up for about 10 minutes there.
Okay, 10 minutes pretty quickly.
But it's not like I sent it.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
let me delete that.
He should not have.
It was like he sent it, walked away. His agent's like, you better delete that, or else we got a problem.
Yeah,
was. Oh no, he doesn't have an agent. Someone close to him.
Right.
His mom is his agent.
His mom. There you go.
His mom probably texted him and saying, you better delete the tweet, because that was not a great look from Lamar. But Lamar obviously very frustrated, and I have a feeling that we're going to dig into that game because on the other side of things, Trevor Lawrence actually played very well as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into some superlatives for this week. We start this segment every week out by talking about the game that we want to talk about the most. So Mike, the Thanksgiving Day games included, Sunday slate, what's the game that you want to talk about the most here?
I want to go back to Thanksgiving. I want to talk about the Bills-Lions for a couple of reasons here. I'll start with the Lions side because, they lost, but I think a very encouraging performance. The kind of run they've been on, you call it a run, we call them the hottest team in the NFC here recently, but how competitive they've been of late really is exciting for Lions fans because you look at this roster, the impact sort of players on this roster, whether it's Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown on the offensive side of the ball. Whether you go to the defensive side of the ball, there's Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil stepping up big now, Malcolm Rodriguez looking good, Jeffrey Okudah looking good.
Yep.
They're all on their rookie contracts. This is a team that the impact players right now are cheap, are lowly paid. And we always say, free agency comes around every single year. So they're going to have over $60 million of cap space to play with next year, if not more. Those are with obvious cuts like Michael Brockers, Jared Goff, getting them off the books. And they could even clear out more space, $60 million to play with, along with some top draft picks in the upcoming draft, because obviously they now are slotted to get the number 3 overall pick from the Los Angeles Rams.
Crazy.
Along with that sort of draft capital, this could be a quick, not even just a quick turnaround. Next year, the year after, if they can secure a quarterback who becomes legit through whatever avenue you want to get it, this team is on the right trend. This team is trending upwards in a big, big way. Very excited to see what they can do. And then on the Bills side, just another kind of, yeah, they get the win, but does Josh Allen, like, are we trusting this version of Josh Allen, the way he's played of late? 2 more turnover-worthy plays, 21 now for the season, the most in the NFL by 2, I believe. Like, are we still trusting this guy to go through the slate? That is going to be the AFC playoffs. That's going to be a murderous row come January now. If they do not have the new 1 seed, if they're not playing all these games at home, if they have to go on the road for 3 straight weeks to get to the Super Bowl, do we trust that version? I don't know.
I mean, I also trust the Bills to be a team that is good enough to beat the Bills. But they're certainly more volatile, I think, than a lot of people might be comfortable with. But the turnover-worthy plays are not something that you should ignore. Let's not ignore the turnover-worthy plays, and I'm glad that you brought them up. But that doesn't change the ceiling of this team. It might change the floor, which is worrisome, but it doesn't change the ceiling, I think, for the Bills. On the flip side of things, I would just say I really hope Dan Campbell is still the one to make this pick for a quarterback when it comes around this offseason. Because for as much as, no, Dan Campbell's not perfect, no coach is, when you look at just the 4th down situations that he had last game, he had 4 4th down decisions that he had to make. He went for all of them. In all 4 instances, they slightly favored going for it. So to me, this shows that Dan Campbell is really open-minded to using the analytics and the right resources to try to always make the right decisions. And one of those 4th downs that he went for was on his own 33-yard line. Most coaches, old school coaches especially, would be like, hell no, we're punting, no doubt about it. That drive ended in a touchdown for the Lions. And it started with them going forward on 4th and 1 on their own 33 because it was an advantageous situation, because the numbers suggested that they would be able to get it and succeed, and they end up getting 7 points out of that drive. So it's those things that make me think, God, Dan Campbell is going in the right direction. The team is going in the right direction, I think, and I hope that he gets a fair chance to make the quarterback pick when we see it this offseason. The game I want to talk about the most is the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Arizona Cardinals. And even though I said Kyler Murray wasn't saying the entire team was effed when he talked about the schematics in the clip that we just posted, I think a lot of things about this team are effed to the point where, and I do not like to say this often, they should fire Cliff Kingsbury. They should fire Cliff Kingsbury today. There's not really a reason why Cliff Kingsbury should continue to be the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. It's been going in the wrong direction this year. We've already talked about them potentially being on the hot seat. And ultimately, this is why I think they should get rid of Cliff Kingsbury. They had 3 drives in the second half, Mike, where they were up by a touchdown, 24-17. On those 3 drives, all they needed was points. Any points at all whatsoever. Didn't even need a touchdown. Could have had a field goal any time, and it would have put the game out of reach, especially looking back on it and how it ended in the final score. In those 3 drives late in the second half in the 4th quarter, 3 and out, 8 yards, minute 45 time of possession, 3 and out, 5 yards, 127 time of possession, 3 and out, 3 yards, 31 seconds time of possession. If Cliff Kingsbury is not there to be good at offense, what's he there for? That's the entire reason why he was hired. The entire reason why Cliff Kingsbury was hired was that right there. And those are 3 drives right in a row that were massive failures that were ultimately the reason why you lost. Is the defense not as good as it needs to be in Arizona? Yes, of course. Fine. But you are there to be an offensive head coach. He went 3 and out 3 straight times, didn't take any time off the clock, couldn't get a first down. That's literally why you were hired. I'm out on Kingsbury, man. I'm out.
Yeah, I've been out, truthfully, but that hits the nail on the head there, really. Those last 3 drives, just they crawled into a shell, played not to lose, and oh, by the way, what happened? You lost because of it. It's just not, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of you brought him in for forward-thinking offensive prowess, sort of nuanced scheme that was going to change, sort of in the terms of the whole NFL landscape, was going to be different. He's the same as we've all seen. He's not doing anything revolutionary there. No one's going to be copying this offense anytime soon across the NFL.
Yep, I agree with you. What about the game that shaped the playoffs? What's next here?
Game that shaped the playoffs, I'm going to go back Thursday again, Thanksgiving. I think
man,
Giants
big
at Cowboys
Thanksgiving guy.
very much shaped the playoffs because of this. I worry now. I was in on the Giants making the playoffs, but I am a little worried with their upcoming schedule because it's very much divisional heavy. They still got 2 games against the Commanders. They still got 2 games against the Eagles. And they may catch a little bit of luck with hitting the Eagles in Week 18. Eagles may have nothing to play for then, may not throw out their starters, but the Eagles do. They get the Eagles twice, Vikings as well, the 3 games against top records in the NFC right now, 2 games against the Commanders, who are one of the hottest teams in the NFC right now, winners of 3 straight, to where they could have 1 or 2 wins down the stretch here, and after such a hot start, 7-2, they could still be on the outside looking in here.
I think the biggest thing that I learned from that Cowboys-Giants game was just that you finally saw the talent gap that we've been talking about with the Giants. They've been overachieving this year. I think the win-loss record has shown that they've been overachieving a little bit. And ultimately, they need a wide receiver 1, man. Have not had a 1,000-yard wide receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. There's a little callback. In 2018, have not had a dominant wide receiver presence. And they've tried, right? They've brought some guys in. I like Wan'Dale Robinson, but I like him as more of a speedy slot kind of a player. I like Darius Slayton, but I think that he's a wide receiver 2 at best. They try to go get Kenny Golladay, but that clearly has not worked for them. It's not that they haven't totally tried, but it's kind of tough to look back at this past draft class and say you had 2 picks in the top 7, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jameson Williams, Jahan Dotson. All of those guys were in this draft class, George Pickens. And you didn't come away with any of them.
No, well, Kayvon looked great.
I was just about to say, I don't hate the thought of investing in the trenches. I like those moves. But it is tough to look at the Giants right now and their receiving core and think that they're going to be able to keep up on offense with these other teams. Mm-hmm. So they're missing a wide receiver 1 on that team. And I think that that's the biggest area where they need to improve. And I think you saw that in the second half when the Cowboys ramped their offense up. Wasn't really anything for the Giants to do. And I agree with you. I think they're going to finish closer to 500 than a lot of people think. I want to talk about the Bengals and the Titans. Your Cincinnati Bengals.
Me too.
Our Quinn's Cincinnati Bengals.
I want to talk about this too.
Our Cincinnati Bengals here. Dude, how good have they been down the stretch? And this December, it's still tough. They got to play the Chiefs. They got to play the Bills. It's a tough schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals. But not having Jamar Chase, they go 3-1 in the 4 games that they didn't have him. 2-1 on the road since 3 of those games were on the road. T. Higgins showing that he is absolutely a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL that just happens to play as a wide receiver too because this team has Chase. What they're doing on offense, I love the rhythm that they have between how they're running the ball, when they're running the ball, out of what formations, how they're getting guys in the right spots. They just seem to be gelling really well right now. But the biggest area that I want to point out here for the Bengals and why I think it shaped the playoffs, this Bengals defense is going to give that offense a chance to beat anybody when the playoffs roll around. Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator there, has his dudes flying. I mean, you watched corners yesterday. Cam Taylor-Britt, Mike Hilton, all of these guys flying at Derrick Henry in the backfield. One-on-one, fearless. That's the identity that the Bengals defense has with Lou Anarumo as their defense coordinator. They are a fearless bunch, and they showed that on the road against a really tough Titans team.
Yeah, I mean, they have a ton of underrated players. Like they don't send out really a starter on the defensive side of the ball that I would even call average at this point. With Jermaine Pratt playing the way he has been of late, I think every starter at the very minimum is above average. Eli Apple you can haggle over, but that even he has played some better ball this year than we've seen from him in years past. So they send out a lot of quality players on that side of the ball, and it gives them a lot of flexibility. They can win a lot of different ways on defense. They can play a lot of different coverages. They can change up their game plan week to week, as we saw it on the stretch in the playoffs last year and obviously throughout this season, being able to shut down a team like the Tennessee Titans that is this obviously run-heavy team, but outside of that one Derrick Henry screen, they really gave him fits all game long. So, yeah, I'm a big fan, and I do want to give a shout-out to Cam Taylor-Britt, second-round corner. He had a hell of a day. Tone-setting type of day. That forced fumble of Derrick Henry, even though it still resulted in a touchdown, heck of a play. He was as advertised in this one.
Titans were the number 2 team in the NFL when it came to scoring touchdowns in the red zone going into this game. 74% on the season. Titans had 3 red zone trips, 0 touchdowns, only 2 field goals as well. Just that stat right there talk just is such great evidence about how well the Bengals are playing on defense. They took what was the Titans' bread and butter, their strength, what they were leaning on offense, finishing drives with 7 more than almost any team in the NFL, and they absolutely took it away from them. Like that, just the identity of this team, the strength of what they're playing with, it's a lot of fun to watch. So we just talk a lot about the Bengals offense, deservingly so. It's a really great unit with a lot of big star power, but I wanted to shout out the defense too, because the defense is going to be just as much of a reason as Walt says in the chat. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs, and I agree. Certainly, if they keep this going, they're going to give the Chiefs fits next week. They can give the Bills fits about a month from now. Yeah, that's going to be incredible. What is the game that shaped the draft? What about that one?
Game that shaped the draft. This one, I think, pretty obvious. Broncos, Panthers. Broncos, yet again, failed to show up on the offensive side of the ball. Who could have seen that coming?
So bad.
Sam Darnold actually looked pretty good. I mean, they didn't throw a ton of passes, but on the ones he did throw, had some dimes in the mix. But now you have the Denver Broncos giving up the number 4 overall pick to the Seattle Seahawks. Carolina falls down to the number 6 overall pick, maybe playing their way out of future quarterback contention, whereas the Broncos may be giving the Seahawks a massive, massive trade chip to deal with there at the top of the draft, depending on how they want to play out the Geno Smith saga.
I mean, this is my game as well. It has to be the game that shaped the draft because these are the two worst teams that went up against each other. Broncos, this is from Field Yates, read this on Twitter. Broncos averaging 14.27 points per game now this season, which is the worst of any NFL team since the 2000 Tim Couch-led Cleveland Browns. Shout out to Tyler Songcheck, our producer in the back.
Go Browns.
That's so insane.
It's bad. It's terrible. What do you think about the Purcell screaming at Russell Wilson? Do you think he was actually screaming at him?
I don't know. I'd like to think so.
Both of them said no.
I would be curious to what did they say? They said. Did they say
so? Russell Wilson, and I want to hear from the chat here too. Do you guys think that Mike Purcell was yelling at Russell Wilson in a super negative way? Because the clip, it's after the Panthers, I think, score a touchdown. And so the defense is already pissed. And Purcell kind of goes out of his way to get in Russ's face and scream at him. Russell Wilson said afterwards that no, like he wasn't like super mad at, basically, he was basically yelling at the offense to, yeah, like basically like we got to do something here. And Russell Wilson said afterwards like, oh, I agree, like the offense has got to be better. Purcell in the locker room said, oh, it was frustration that led to that. But then he was like, oh, like we're one team. That's our quarterback. Like he just, wanted to motivate him and, say like, let's go. It doesn't really look like what's going on.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like what's going on.
He may have been screaming, let's go. Come on, offense. Do your effing job, whatever. Again, I don't curse. But he did it. He was doing so out of frustration. It was not out of rah-rah team spirit. It was, you haven't done anything this season. You're the worst offense since 2000. And like, with the way offense has been trending, that's even like the fact that they're worse than, those Rams teams led by Jeff Fisher that had Jared Goff starting as a rookie. The fact they're worse than that is hard to fathom. But that's just your Russell Wilson experience. That's just your Mr. Unlimited.
Nathan said Russ just told him, let's ride.
Probably.
Can you imagine?
I mean, he might have.
Can you imagine?
Russ is so toned up.
Purcell screaming at him and Russ just going, let's ride.
Broncos country.
Just maybe Purcell was screaming, let's ride.
Probably not.
Maybe that's what he said.
Probably.
Maybe he leaned over and said, Broncos country, let's ride.
I have a feeling, and this is just a feeling, that that's not what happened there. A lot of people seem to believe that Purcell was actually screaming at him. Jeff asked this question, do we get Hackett fired during this show? Probably not. I mean, he's not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired in the season.
Yeah, there's no real
In fact,
benefit.
I'm almost never a proponent of firing a coach after one season. But to be fair, that also comes from, I hope you did your homework when you hired the coach. And if you hired the guy for the right reasons, then you really cannot judge what he is able to do after 1 year unless it's like an Urban Meyer situation that's completely terrible. Mm-hmm. Hackett's not like an Urban Meyer situation
where there's losing the locker room,
in all of those
revolting,
ways, but
that sort of thing.
It don't look good, man. It really looks like he might be a one and done.
He'll be a one and done. You can't justify, obviously the stat we just put up. You can't justify the worst offense in 20 years.
Yeah, but then who do they hire? Like, who do you go after?
Someone who's desperate for a job. That's who, because I don't think anyone wants to walk into that situation right now.
I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to be desperate enough to take that job then if you fire Hackett after 1 year. I think that's also a problem.
Saturday.
What's the sell? Oh, my.
Peyton Manning takes the job. Wait, who's the Broncos offensive line legend?
Quinn Miners.
Mark Schlereth.
Mark Schlereth takes the job.
Mark
Analyst.
Good pull.
Former
Perfect.
offensive lineman.
Ryan Clady.
Former center.
Too perfect.
Ryan Clady.
Yeah. Former Boy State great.
That's all I got.
I was going to save this for trivia, but I want to shoot this at you guys real quick. The Broncos have the least points per game so far this season since which team? Do you know?
Oh, I just said it.
That literally was just on the graphic.
Oh, did you say it?
Yeah.
2000 Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, never mind. Good thing I want to use it for trivia then.
Good thing. Dude, if that would have been a trivia question, I would have just sat here and I just would have been like, yeah.
We really should bust that back out for trivia just to see how closely you guys are paying attention.
Just to see if Stone's paying attention.
Don't hate it.
See if everybody pays attention to it. Somebody said Mike Zimmer.
Would he want to? I don't know.
Well, no, Mike Zimmer is going to be the Bengals DC next year when the Broncos hire Lou Anarumo.
That would be. Lou Anarumo.
I don't want that.
I get that he was
kind
kind of hired out of desperation, but I don't know if getting a head coach job out of desperation like that's the way to go for him. Might be a step down career move for him.
I don't love it. Okay, anyways. All right, we're moving on. What about the game that didn't make sense?
Game that didn't make sense. Going back to Thursday night again. We're going Patriots-Vikings this
Did you
time.
watch any games yesterday?
I did, but at least Thursday night slate was great. I had a good time. Patriots-Vikings, though. I mean, this game didn't make sense because we said, Vikings without their starting left tackle going up against the best defense in the NFL in terms of EPA per play. All of a sudden, they put up the third best EPA per play against this Patriots defense that they've given up all season. They have a kick return touchdown against Bill Belichick. They out Belichick. And by the way, Mac Jones played by far and away his best game of the season. Yeah. Easily his highest graded game. Grade in the 80s this past week after not even coming close, looking like poop the rest of the season. Mac Jones actually looks good. So it's an offensive shootout to a degree. Obviously, the Vikings come out on top. That was probably the expected result. But the way it happened, I don't think it was expected in the slightest.
Vikings defense probably going to come back to bite him.
382 yards for Mac Jones in this one.
Probably going to come back to bite him.
It's not ideal. Yeah.
No, it's not ideal. I do want to say in a positive note, because the Vikings did win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kevin O'Connell, right? Vikings have 2 losses. All right, there's a first-time head coach. First loss was the Eagles, week 2 of the season, basically played in a game where that wasn't even close. Would not even close. They come back the next week. They defeat the in-division Detroit Lions, which were a hot team then. They were scoring a lot of points. They were putting a lot of points up, so they were able to outscore them then. They get absolutely shellacked by the Dallas Cowboys last week. They come back on a short week, are able to beat the New England Patriots. So I've been really impressed with how Kevin O'Connell has navigated being a first-time head coach. I think the Vikings got a real good one, even if the defense and the total roster itself isn't exactly where it needs to be yet. The record is what it is, I think, because of Kevin O'Connell. I think that's a huge reason why they're where they are, so I wanted to shout them out. Game that didn't make sense to me. You knew who's coming, folks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Cleveland Browns. Bucs lose this game in overtime to the Browns. Shout out Tyler. I'll give you a shout out there. We're having a little back and forth last week, and obviously the Browns end up winning this game. The reason why this game didn't make sense to me is the same reason why a lot of Bucs games don't make sense to me. What are the coaches doing? What are we doing? Play action. Worked great against the Seattle Seahawks when they were in Germany, right? Oh, let's just not use play action anymore. Why? What are we doing? The game management, the time management. I don't know if you were able to watch the end of that game. I don't know for everybody else who saw the end game sequence for the Buccaneers, the end of regular season. Or sorry, the end of the regulation. I'm getting my words mixed up here. Bucs have 3 timeouts. About 30 seconds left to go. They end up throwing a short pass. Guy just tackled in bounds. They run up as if it's like hurry up tempo. They're going to run another play. They're going to run another play here. They don't call timeout. They have 3 timeouts. All of a sudden, 20 seconds get let off the clock. Tom Brady throws a seed to Julio Jones to somehow miraculously get them to midfield. But guess what? Now you don't have the time. Now you actually call timeout, but it doesn't even matter. Now you only have one shot. They don't even get into field goal range. If you would have called the timeout at that point, now you have multiple shots just to get into field goal range. The game was tied. All you needed was a field goal. You didn't need a touchdown. It's just mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing what they are doing from the coaching staff.
You seem a little
just bad decisions.
It's just. I've got to sit here all year and listen to people be like, oh, the injuries, there's Tom, the execution, Devin White, this and that. The Bucs are losing games this season. The Bucs have the record that they do and are as disappointing as they are because of the coaching staff. That's what it is. It's true. Coaching staff's actively losing them games. Yesterday was absolutely a reason why. I love Todd Bowles. I think he's a great dude. I think he's a brilliant defense coordinator. Right now, that team doesn't have a head coach. They don't have a head coach. They have a defensive coordinator who's wearing a head coach's headset, and they have an offensive coordinator who seems to get worse as the season goes on.
Yeah, they're really just not taking advantage of the small, easy wins that we talk about all the time, whether it's schematically, whether it's in-game play calling, whether it's even just clock management. They are failing those in-game tests that maybe they're not schematic things. They're more philosophical things that aren't going to change. You're going to have to overcome them if you're Tom Brady in this offense, if you're this Bucs roster.
You remember that skit we did a couple weeks ago when Seth was in the psychologist's office, laying on the couch? We need to do that again, but Trev, we just need to put you on the couch.
Yeah,
but for real this time, just let it out.
Sure. I already broke up with the team, right? We already did the breakup letters.
Yeah. That too. I forgot about that.
And yet here I am going back to it. I still need therapy. We still just got PTSD. I'm reminded every single week. You know what? Die mad, Trev. Die mad. Okay, what about the rest of them? Any games, performances, anything that didn't fit into a little superlative box? We'd love to hear from you guys as well. El Mucho Ding Dong, I know, has been lighting up the chat with some Trevor Lawrence stuff, and we'll get to that in a second. But what do you think?
Had to pour one out for my Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately,
speaking of therapy,
giving up 363 rushing yards to the Philadelphia Eagles. 52 more than any defense has allowed this season. 5th most this century.
Ooh,
in the game.
He pulled out the word century, folks.
Which is insane to me.
He pulled out the word century.
But Jordan Love looked the best he's looked in a Green Bay Packer uniform, in a Utah State uniform. That was 9 attempts. Whatever. He looked good. He looked good enough that I don't think you play Rodgers another snap this season. Truth. And now, you got the Bears this weekend, then you got to bye. Maybe you wait till the bye. I don't care what. But you need to know what you got in Jordan Love. 5th-year decision looming this offseason. Obviously has never had extended run as the guy, as the starter in Green Bay. We need to see that. Give him the last 4 weeks at a minimum, if not these last 5 games to prepare. Rodgers banged up. Don't get him any more hurt. Save his trade value as much as you can. See what you got. See what you got. In third-year quarterback Jordan Love.
I've long said that the Green Bay Packers made the right choice, drafting Jordan Love where they did for this exact moment, right? Everybody could have seen this exact move coming, and that's why you draft Jordan Love there. So I've often been saying that.
How about the Jordan Love licking his lips though mid-snap? That's how you know he's a little more confident this year.
Well, there's no nerves anymore. I think you're probably just mad. You're just motivated. Yeah. You're like, okay, now finally it's my time. Let me play. And so there's no room for nerves. I want to shout out Josh Jacobs, man. I didn't know it was going to be the question of the day, so I didn't know how much we were going to talk about him at the top. But look at this, man. Look at this season he's having. Mike, Josh Jacobs was playing in the Hall of Fame game in the preseason. They didn't pick up this guy's 5th-year option. He was playing as if he could be a potential roster cut. And here we are 12 weeks into the season. 33 carries, 229 yards, and 2 touchdowns yesterday. Had the 86-yard run in overtime. That totals 1st in rushing yards, 1st in rushing grade, 1st in forced missed tackles, 1st in first downs gained. Unbelievable turnaround that we have for Josh Jacobs, who is an unrestricted free agent going into this season.
Now, the decline's 5th year. But it's because the 5th year is only $1.5 million less than the franchise tag would be.
For running backs.
So that's why. It was the right decision to decline his 5th year. but it is objectively funny to just say they declined his 5th-year extended Carr, and then Jacobs literally carrying this team.
Quite literally.
While Carr
Quite
kind
literally.
of just is diminishing his trade value by the week, it seems like. So, yeah, Josh Jacobs very much earning himself a pretty big new deal after this.
You got another one? You want to talk about Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we have to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Can't believe we haven't talked about him.
Yeah. Come
Yes.
on.
Okay. Trevor Lawrence. What a goddamn performance. That fourth quarter, the last drive, the seed on the 2-point conversion, just a laser to Zay Jones. He was dialed in. Yeah, he had a few turnover-worthy plays. That's going to be his game. He's going to be a little bit high variance. That's just who you're going to have to live with. But plays like that, the touchdown pass that I can't believe actually got upheld, the rest of that drive was quarterbacking porn, to be honest. That was as good as it gets right there. Yeah, I said it.
No, I mean it was beautiful stuff from Trevor Lawrence. It was the best game of his career, no doubt about it. And that fourth quarter especially, to see him play as confidently as he did, I think this was a big arm talent display kind of a game, because there were times even through this game where I felt like he was locked onto his receivers, maybe a little too much, maybe not as confident as he could be, not stepping into his throws, hesitating just a little bit. I still saw those things from him against the Ravens, but the ball still went exactly where it needed to almost every time, especially down the stretch. That's arm talent. When you have the ability to put the ball exactly where it needs to go at the exact time it needs to get there, that's what that means to me. And he showed that time and time again. That final drive leading up to the 2-point conversion and then the 2-point conversion as well. It doesn't get much better than that. This, like I said, best game of his career. Beautiful to watch. Shout out El Mucho Ding Dong in the chat, who has been going off about the Jags. Salute to you. Deserves that, absolutely. I also got to shout out Mike White. What's going on with the Jets? We've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying this, to be fair, all the Jets need is non-negative quarterback play. Just put a quarterback in there who isn't an active negative on the team. That's what Mike White was. And you saw the whole team rally around him. Did you read some of the quotes after the game from Elijah Moore, from Garrett Wilson? A bunch of guys on the team were around him, crowding him, going crazy when he was getting the post-game interview. We weren't seeing that before. I don't think Zach Wilson plays again this year, folks, and that makes for an interesting conversation of what happens this offseason.
Oh, I agree. But they really did set up Zach Wilson to get clowned. Have him playing in the win against the top-ranked defense in the NFL. To then, I get that it was raining, but Mike White going up against one of the worst, if not the worst, defense in the NFL was always going to look better, than it did last week. But I do think Mike White in this offense, you hit the nail on the head in terms of these guys are open. These guys have been open all year. Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, they can separate. It's just, can you hit them on time? Mike White hit him on time this past weekend. That's really all you need to do in this offense. And I do think this team with Mike White is probably bound for the playoffs because they're that good on the defensive side of the ball.
Qual said, "Did you guys see the Zach Wilson, Luke Skywalker picture when he had the hood over and like half the face was covered up? If you guys haven't seen that, you can definitely see that on Twitter." Drew said, "Very nice to see Lawrence finally playing well. I think he's played well before. He just really put it all together, and like I said, had his best game, which I love to see." Raphael said the Jags mascot deserves a shout out. We're about to do drip or skip. Stone, do we have the Jags mascot on drip or skip?
Yeah, I was supposed to be surprised, but of course.
Okay, all right. Then we don't have to dig too far into it because we're gonna get to that one. Adam wants to shout out the 49ers defense. Absolute legendary performance, a shutout against the New Orleans Saints. First time the Saints have been shut out since the early 2000s. Can't remember what year it was exactly.
A one, I think.
Pre Drew Brees for sure. Last time the New Orleans Saints were shut out 13-0. Just absolutely
poor Andy.
Dominant. Poor Andy. I mean, Jameis should be starting. Let's be real. Jameis should be starting. Why are we starting Andy?
He probably will.
Okay.
Shortly.
That's good. All right, you want to do drip or skip?
Let's do it.
Drip or skip time! Everybody's favorite segment for fashion here on this show, because of course you guys come to Mike and I for
fashionistas here.
Fashion advice, as we are on the cutting edge. You guys can see every day in our wonderful appearances. Actually, Walt said before the show that in the pre-show, when they're showing like everybody in the production portal, he said that we were putting dippity-doo in our hair. That's what we were doing beforehand.
No, I actually don't put much in my hair. I just don't use shampoo.
Yeah, you shave the head, and you're just like
it just goes. It just I just move it after I shower, and then it stays there.
The man wakes up and he's that beautiful, folks. All right, let's get it. Let's get into some drip or skip. We need to hear from you guys as well. We're showing you pictures of NFL players from around the league wearing things either pregame or postgame, or maybe even during the game if you're the mascot. And we want to know if you think this is a drip, if you would wear it, or if it's a skip. What's the first one? Who do we got? All right, so this is Quinnen. This is solid. The flower, is this a denim jacket? Is this like a floral denim jacket?
I can get on board.
I'm cool with this.
If you're a bigger guy, you don't have as many options. Don't want to be shopping at the big and tall, the
big and tall store?
Yeah, you don't want to be
XL?
shopping at that. You want to be still looking fashionable at the very minimum. I think that's solid, You can't be wearing the tight jeans like some of the wideouts. You can't have the stomach exposed like a DK Metcalf. So you gotta go a different route to the drip path.
I think he looks good,
drip.
man.
Yeah.
I think the glasses look good. I think the whole fit looks good. For a big man fit, I think he does well.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I think everybody's saying drip. Do we have a single skip? Damn. JM saying drip. William saying drip. Philip drip. Daniel's drip. We don't have a single skip.
Chatcham's going skip.
Birmingham's going skip. How can the Birmingham go skip? Don't care for the color. It's like an off red. Isn't that the color of ham?
That's it. There's ham that are that color.
It's literally ham colored pants. That's a tough look. It's mostly a drip though. We're going drip. Whole chat's going drip as well. Well done, Quinnen. You look fly, my friend. All right, what's next? Ooh, who's this one?
We got Miles Sanders here.
Ooh, this is Sanders? Interesting.
I don't think...
What's on the... Oh, it's a smiley face on the inside? See, it's not my preference. I can't do patterns on jeans.
He's got too much going on.
I'm not a patterns on jeans guy. Like, if you want to go like some like ripped jeans, like I'm cool with that. I've worn that before to my fiance's chagrin. But I can't do like the patterns on the jeans.
He looks like
the smiley face. I can't.
His grandma quilted that coat for him.
But what if she did then?
If he did, then it changes the equation altogether. That's drip. But if he purchased it like that, there's just too much going on. There's no cohesiveness. The hat matches the shirt, but then the shirt doesn't match the pants, and it definitely doesn't match the bag. So I think we're just a little too discombobulated for me to give that drip. Plus, he has some keys banging into his dong there. I don't know what that's all about. I'm going to go now. Skip.
I think the colors, they're light colors. I don't mind it. I think they're more faded, washed colors. So I think they kind of like it's not like anything that's obnoxious, but we need to know, did grandma knit whatever's going on up top? Because if it did, automatic drip. But if not, I'm probably skipping it as well. All right, what do we got next? Sanders had a hell of a game, though, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. Let's go, baby! Brian Robinson Jr., after a career day, has a career fashion statement. Big hats. Look at this big-ass hat. How does it work? I didn't even see...
There's got to be...
what's in between?
It's got to be like one of those...
Styrofoam.
Baseball helmet things on the inside where it's like... goes into your dome, and then there's like a ring that you probably put on your head, and then it kind of
no way
comes out.
So what do you like put on a beanie and then like a ring of foam?
Probably
protection. Just like a concussion helmet.
So he said that it was his friend's company.
Yes.
Those claims have actually been debated about whether it's actually his friend's company or not, or whether his friends are friends of someone who owns the company. But either way, he's a better friend than I am.
Look, we've all been there.
My friend tells me to wear that hat. I'm gonna say, hey, buddy, find a different spot.
Well, no, we need to hit up his friend and get custom IJF.
Yes,
big hats.
That would be great.
You guys can wear them on the show.
We were in the pre-chat, me, Sav, and Eli, and we were like, look, if these were readily available, like if these would have been sold at like a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, you better believe both of us would be wearing them here on the show, and because of that, I gotta give it a drip. If you have a career day and you're wearing that, we're dripping. I need to see what the chat's saying.
Hopeful Lions fan says they cost $75 plus shipping.
Where do you find it? Where do you find it?
Yeah, where do you find it?
That's the hardest part.
It's called like Noggin. I'll find it.
He didn't say where to find it.
Chris says drip if there ever was one, baby. JM saying skip. Adam saying I'm skipping. I can't make the hats work. But we got a lot of drip. We got a lot of drip.
Noggin Boss is the company.
I like it. I'll say it's one of those things where if I had one, if I was rich, I would buy it. I would wear it once just for the joke, and then I probably would never wear it again.
What did you say it was? Dog Boss?
Noggin Boss. They were on Shark Tank.
Noggin Boss?
Shout out
Noggin
to
Boss,
Noggin
yeah.
Boss. Reach out to us, Noggin
Oh
Boss.
my gosh. They're just
oh, here we go. You can kind of see the interior
they're
of them
just giant
on it.
hats.
It's like a big cushion on the interior. it looks
Yeah.
like a big airplane pillow kind of
They
thing.
have one that
tucking
says
around your
World's
head.
Best Boss. I'm going to get you all one on my last day as an intern.
Thank you.
Wait, they have Ludacris in one of these? You see this picture? On Instagram, Luda actually posted one of him wearing a big ass hat.
It says you do you. Oh
This
my
is
God.
this is amazing. Okay, I think we have to go.
Imagine though you go to a football game. If these become popular, you go to a football game. You sit down. Guy in front of you has this big dumb hat on,
Big ass
and he's 6'4". You would be irate.
I'd hit.
I really hope this doesn't
I'd hit
catch
up.
on.
I'd hit up Ticketmaster immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Dude's got a Noggin Boss on.
Hughes says Noggin Boss sounds sexual. Settle down. All right.
That's a
What's the next one? What's the next one we got here? We're going. Look,
That's an OnlyFans name.
I'm vetoing everybody. I'm vetoing everybody who says that this is a skip.
That's hot.
All right, who's this next one?
That's hot.
Jordan Roos.
Yeah.
Jordan Roos on the next one. Ooh.
That's just
Throwback.
playing to your base right there.
Yeah.
Nashville. He knows it.
You really gotta have, when you're a big man too, like if a skinnier dude wore the Oilers sweater and the cowboy hat, like okay, you can be clean shaven, you can have some, you don't need a hair have coming out of the back. When you're a big dude, you need the beard.
Mm-hmm.
You need the hair coming out of the back. Jordan Roos has both of those at an immaculate level. It's classic. It's Tennessee. It's to the roots. I agree.
But then also giving homage to Houston. He's a Texas boy, Jordan Roos.
Oh.
So give him a little throwback to home state.
Okay.
Yeah, that's got to be a drip. That's what. Again, going back to the Quinn thing. When you're a bigger dude, you can't try to dress like the small guys. You just can't do it. And that's obviously knowing how to stay in your lane. That's no line.
Birmingham says, I'm in the middle of Yellowstone, so this is a drip. Oh, hopeful Lions fan. Does he have the boots to go with it, though? You guys might be able to look that up quicker than we can here on the show, but I'm also going drip. Yeah. Going drip. Good job, Jordan. All right, what's next? Who do we got next? Ooh! Travis Kelce. What's the jacket, though?
Jacket says...
It looks like something Guy Fieri would wear.
It does.
That's a Guy Fieri fit, dude. The flames on the sleeves. I think Guy Fieri has those trademarked.
Just flames?
Yeah,
he
just those
just
flames.
has all flames.
Whatever Flavor Town's professional sports team is, that's their jersey.
That's actually a really great point,
You could
Quinn.
probably sponsor an NBA team, right?
I can't do the jacket. I can't. If he was just wearing the Dennis Rodman shirt, I'd be like, that's drip.
I honestly think, you know what ruins it for me? The shades.
You
I
like
think
those
it's
shades?
cool until the shades. The shades are just a
Really?
little too
No, look at them.
try hardy with the look.
They bring the look. They bring the fit together. You don't think?
I don't think. I think different shades would have played better.
I don't know.
I like the rest though. I will say I like the rest. It's close. It's close.
What is this like a baseball jersey?
And the Chiefs pendant looking real like they just handed that to me as a freebie when I walked in the stadium.
Right.
That's a little tacky.
Yeah, it is a little. I think it's too much. Again, if it was just the Dennis Rodman shirt, be cool with it. But I don't know. The Guy Fieri baseball jersey over top. To me, that's where you lose me. Are you skip?
I'm a skip.
I'm a skip. I'm a skip too. All right, what's the next one? Paris Campbell. Oh, it's just Paris Campbell.
Can't even see him.
Yeah, can't even see him. I can see the orange.
Jokes that I'm not saying.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah,
I can't do it. Oh, overall with jackets.
Man, that's just.
Do you think he's wearing like basketball shorts underneath?
I don't know. That's an outfit that doesn't know what it's doing.
No.
It's just confused.
That's too much for me.
Converse looking.
Can't do it. Is it a backpack in
shoes.
his right hand? Right? It looks like it's gotta be. Is it like a small backpack?
It almost looks like
It's
he's
like
got
a lunch
bell bottoms flaring out.
He does. Yeah, they're bell bottom overall camo. I don't think I could do it, folks. I don't think I could do it.
That one's
It'd be
That one,
better
like,
if it was
that's
like
one of the
real
worst
tree
we've seen all year.
camo,
I'll just
like
say
some actual like hunting,
Like hunting, like
bibs.
just straight
Kinda
hunting
hilarious.
gear.
Yeah.
The worst part is, looking at this fit, is that those pair of overalls, I'm actually going to try to find these extra. Those pair of overalls have to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of a few $1,000s.
No way.
Is the worst part.
No.
I bet they cost over $1,000, those overalls.
1,000? No.
Look at those.
I would agree with that.
You think they're over 1,000?
I
I don't
bet
think
those
they
are
should
$1,000.
be, but I think
Somebody
they are.
find.
Those look like, again, a patchwork that you got hand-me-downs from your brother, and they were ripped, and then your mom sewed some patches on so that they weren't ripped, and it just looks like someone threw up your overalls.
I found them. You guys want to guess?
I'll say
yes, price is right here.
$1,400.
I think they're $499, Bob.
$1,716.
No way! No
Again, that's what I'm
way!
saying. Is why
No
that sucks
way!
so hard. Is he spent nearly 2 G's on baby puke?
That's rent, dude.
Yeah.
It's rent.
That's gross.
No, okay, it's not. I'm so far out. I'm sorry. I'm so far out. That's nuts. $2,000. All right, please go to what's the last one? Please, come on. Oh, there it is. The Jags mascot
Jay Nasty right there.
wearing the American Speedo. That's unbelievable.
How'd that get approved?
Folks, only in Jacksonville, Florida. Only in Jacksonville, Florida. Jackson DeVille out here.
Also, I can't go tell what's going on with his chest. Is he wearing I think he's wearing a full body suit though, right? He has to.
Yeah, it's one of those. Like,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. They're wearing like the full
not
body
just
suit
painted.
over top. No. That's not just paint. That's a full body suit. Were you watching Red Zone when Scott Hansen caught that?
Yeah.
Scott Hansen was like, he was like, all right, and a great touchdown from Jermichael Hasty. I'm not sure what's going on with the mascot back there, and then they like went back to it and they ended up showing the result. Incredible work.
I'm gonna have to go skip though.
Has to be drip. Dude, they won. If they would have lost, then maybe it could be a skip. But
Not a fan of overly ambitious mascots like that. Just cheer it on.
He's
Maybe
the
get
best
a player's
mascot in the
face
league.
after a
yeah, what's your
touchdown every
beef,
once
man?
in a while.
What's your beef
But that's just like a little too much for me. It's a little too much.
for you?
Yeah.
For you?
That's what I'm saying.
For you?
You could say it's drip if you want. I'm just saying.
I am going to say that it's drip. You guys are out of your mind. It's absolutely drip. To have that confidence to go out there and pull that off, that's what, that's what drip really is about. It's about the confidence.
I don't know if that's what drip
To
is really
spend
about.
$1,800
Yeah.
on camo overalls.
Yeah, I'm sure Paris Campbell felt confident as shit in that.
All right. That was a good time. Stone, I'm glad you included that last one. I'm glad that we made sure that we got to that one. $1,700. I can't, folks. I can't.
It's gross.
Monday Night Football bets. Maybe if you win enough of these, you can afford Paris Campbell's overalls. We're going to be talking about spread, total, player prop, Colts, Steelers, Titanic matchup for the ages. If the Pittsburgh Steelers lose this game, they have a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Not in the end. There are more games to be played. But currently, if they win it, they drop pretty far down. So the Colts are favored in this one. It's in Indianapolis. Colts are favored by 2.5, so almost a field goal. Over-under right now, 39.5. Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to go Steelers side of this. I liked what I saw from Kenny Pickett against the Bengals. I thought that was one of his best, at least the first half, one of his best halves of football he's played. It's the best he's looked all season, I thought. I'm going over as well for that reason. I think I can put points on the board, and obviously I don't think the Steelers secondary is anything special, which then leads me into my prop. It's Matt Ryan under 0.5 INTs. I think he's turned a corner in that regard. You're getting even money for it. You're getting a coin toss, odds-wise. Double your money.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I'm going to go with Colts here. I'm going to go Colts at home, 2.5.
Jeff Saturday believer, I see.
I think they're playing. I don't know about all
That's what I
that,
heard.
but
That's all I heard.
I'm gonna go Colts. Somebody in the chat, I think it was Nathan, said Mike Tomlin's not losing to Jeff Saturday, and you know what? That's fair. But I'll take the Colts. I'm gonna take the Colts with the overcoming the 2.5 points there. I will say over 39.5. Get a little shootout here tonight, okay? Let's have a little fun. Let's have some fun. That's an A bet from Greenline, as you guys can see right there. If you don't have it yet, that's the PFF app. Go to the App Store if you got an Apple device. Type in PFF Pro Football Focus. You'll be able to find it. You can have the best of the betting tools right in the palm of your hand. Also, fantasy football stuff, all the articles, everything, whatever you go to pff.com for, you can instead have an app form. Beautifully laid out as you see there. I will go. So we have an A for Najee Harris, under 2.5 receptions.
Don't do it.
I'm going to go against Greenline.
Don't do it.
I'm going to say Najee Harris over 2.5 receptions. I'm going straight against the computers. We're going full Neo in the Matrix. Me versus the machines here.
No Jalen Warren to take his carries away.
Well, it's receptions anyway. It's not carries.
Well, just to take his snaps away.
Touches. Whatever. That's what I'm going with.
Go with it.
I'll be victorious. I'm the one. The Oracle said it. Oracle said, Najee Harris prop's going to come up. You got to go against the machines. And you'll be rich enough to afford Paris Campbell's outfit. All right. Question of the day.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
6 players, active players, have had a 250-yard game in the NFL combined from scrimmage. So it could be receiving and rushing. Name the 6. Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill.
I'm gonna go no Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna go Austin Eckler and Zeke. Those are my last 2. I'm gonna go with those 2.
Final answer?
I don't have a 6th. I'm missing a receiver. I know I am.
Yeah, the hint is that I came up with the question.
Oh, Jamar Chase. Suck it.
Yeah.
Suck it!
Jamar.
Suck it, Mike!
Jamar last year against Chiefs had 266. Julio was a good guess. He's done it 3 times, actually.
Whoa.
Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley.
All right.
Yeah. Melvin Gordon and Josh Gordon also did it. So if I would have asked this question a couple weeks ago, they would have been on there, but they're not on a roster. You know who did not have 250 scrimmage yards yesterday that is on this list? Derrick Henry. Bengals defense stifled him. 76% chance to make the playoffs.
Mike Hilton, dog of the week.
Yeah.
Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton might have to be a dog of the week there. Yeah, Jamar Chase was a good pull. What?
I was thinking it was the Chiefs game. I was thinking the Ravens game last year was when he went for big, but no, it's the Chiefs game. 266. Damn it.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do it again.
Maybe he'll do it again this upcoming Sunday. Maybe he'll do it again.
He's playing.
Eli said that Mike Hilton's got to be a dog of the week. We will see if we have him as one of our dogs of the week. You guys got to be in the chat tomorrow to give us your dogs of the week as well. Do we have a chat champ from today?
Jeff Sperano. Shout out, Jeff. I don't think anybody nailed the question of the day, but Jeff Sperano's the man, so.
Shout out, Jeff, our chat champ. Jeff, you know what you got to do. You got to be in the chat tomorrow. You got to represent the chat for dogs of the week. We got a lot of guys to choose from. Offense side of the ball, defense side of the ball. We'll talk about Monday Night Football because it's going to be, we said it's going to be an over game. We're going to get an over. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be down to the wire. It's going to be game of the year tonight.
We didn't say that.
It's going to be it's going to be a game that happens this year.
Yeah.
It is going to be a game that happens this year. We're going to be back right here on this desk to talk about all of it. The dogs of the week. We'll give you some power ranking things. We'll talk about Monday Night Football as well. Until then, I'm Trevor Sikkema. That is Mike Renner. For everybody in the production portal, thank you guys so much for watching the show. We'll see you right here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. See you guys then.
It's not about politics. It's about football.
This is a simple game.
We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pass the ball. You're just going to play football, really.
How good of a football player are you?
Not just get it and try to spin it. That's all.
I just love the game.
It really is the best time of the year.